Okay, so moving on, we're going to actually light the hull now. So we're going to set up the wiring, we're going to put the lights in, and let me show you. We're going to set up all the hardware and the electronics in the secondary hull. So I think what we're going to do, now the model kit has 4 of the light bulbs. 2 of them are going to go down in the lower quarters, and then 2 of them are going to come up through the top to where the bridge area is. And the lights will come out there. Now the lights that they gave with the kit, let me show you, were old, very outdated. And no doubt they'll generate heat, and for the time they were awesome. But what I was thinking was, there's 4 of them. The model and the plans call for 4. The problem with 4 is, when I had shown you guys the 3.5 millimeter, the 4 wires just will not fit into the neck. So what I was thinking, instead of doing the 4 of the 3.5 millimeters, going back to the original plan, to the 5 millimeters, we can do 2 of the 5 millimeter, plus the wires are longer, and we'll have more play to work with. So let me put the 3.5 millimeter ones away for now. It was worth a try because they were smaller and they were fit. But what we can end up doing when we put the larger one through is, 1, they'll throw more light, and 2, all we got to do is drill a hole in the middle and we can put the 5 millimeter in. And this one will be bright. Okay, so let's move on. All right, let's put this aside for now. We're actually gonna, where's the other one of the 5 millimeter? I put it somewhere. Here it is. There we are. All right. Like I said, the 5 millimeter bulb will throw much more light. And what I was thinking of just cutting the wire and soldering the LEDs into place. But you know what? That's a lot of work, and if we don't really need to, these are pre-wired. You can see the resistor is already on, so if this will work just fine, why go through all that trouble? So these are going to go, the cords are long enough, so what we're going to do, we're going to drill 1 hole right in the middle, and this isn't going to go through all the way because of the space that we need for this. And you can, well, let me show you guys. There's a piece that's going to be holding the bulbs, and that's going to go in right over there. So let me show you guys the piece. So that's this piece right here, and what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little notch in the middle just to keep everything nice and even. So let's get this off the tree right now. We'll trim it off. Make sure it's nice and smooth. All right, that's good. And you can see the little notches where each bulb is going to go in. And this is going to go right over here. And it's going to go right in like that. Just like that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little bit of a a notch in the middle, and hopefully I can get it started with this. All right. Now we got to be careful. I'm going to use the knife, and we're going to notch it out just a bit more. Let's put that down so it doesn't have to be a huge notch, because we're going to hot glue the bulb into place, just so we can get it positioned. All right, so that's all set. Also, what I want to show you guys is, let's see, where is the piece that goes in the front of the primary hull? They actually call it the antenna. And you guys, let me show you that the way that they want you to put it in. They actually expect you to put it in, and some of it is sticking out. So we've got the primary hull, and the way that the instructions call is that this goes in like that, but it's sticking out. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware of that, but the model, the filming model, it does not protrude at all. It's totally level with the rest of the hull. So what we're going to do is, instead of bringing it out like that, we're going to be putting it flush just inside, so that it's absolutely flush. And if we need to, we could put a little bit of putty to get rid of the lines, and when we paint it, it'll look good. So that's because I was thinking about cutting it, and we don't really need to do that. We're going to be able to just glue it into place, and I'm going to use super glue for that. Okay, so we got the part for the light, and that's going to go. See, the way they have it is they have it going with the notch face down, but I'm going to do it with the notch facing up. And you can see where, hopefully you can see, this little notch inside the hull. It's going to go just like that, and it's going to abut against the wall. So we're going to have two bulbs now. So this is how they're going to look. So we're going to have one that's going to be for the top, and we've got one that's going to be for the bottom, like that. So this one, you know, might not even need that bracket, just the way this is. And this one will be longer, because this one is going to go up, and it's going to go through this piece right here. All right, just like, gonna look like that. But what I want to do first is I want to check these lights before we glue everything and permanently seal it up. So let's take the secondary hull now. Let's see, is this the one that has the switch? Nope, here's the switch. Okay, so we'll keep this one, we'll put this one aside. And we're going to take the secondary hull, the bottom part, and we're going to take it off the tree. And you can see it's a little bit. All right, you can see where the switch is going to go, right through there. Okay, so what do we got to do? We're going to get all the hardware, and we're going to put it into place. So you can see the switch contact, press fit. You can see the contacts. So I got the contacts. I put them aside. Let's get all, because there are several screws. Is that everything? Yep. Alright, so now we'll go back and we'll get the switch right over here. So let's get this off the tree. And just a little bit to get off. We'll use the hobby knife. That looks pretty good. Again, I just want to make sure that everything is intact and that it's going to work. And this is going to go right over here, just like that. All right. So it's looking like we have this section, and you can see this part over here is going to go over the pole. Okay, so this kind of snaps into position just like that, and you can see where the bottom is going to make contact as the top. At least that's the plan. So hopefully this is going to work. There may be a little bit of finagling, but you can see that's the section or the contact that needs to go in. And it doesn't go all the way down because you can see there's a part that's stopping it. All right. So when that's in, we put the switch, and that's going to go on the inner part, just like that. And what it's going to happen is the top of the hull is going to hold it in place, and we can move the switch back and forth. And it's supposed to work. So again, we're going to make sure. Okay, so we got the two contacts that are going to come out the other side. Just like this. And that, each one is going to go onto the contact right over there. They're going to be screwed into place. Alright, so this is how it's going to go. And then the wire, we're going to wrap the wire around the screw. Alright, so you guys can see all the contacts are in. So what we're going to do now, also the switch is in. So now we're going to take, again, we're just going to test the lights. You can see we got the ends, but they're a little bit, we're going to get a little bit more of the wire itself, and we're going to separate these just a bit. There we are. So we'll do the same thing for the other light, and then we'll splice them together. We'll hook it up, and we'll be able to see if it's going to work or not. Here we go. And I have to use my teeth because I actually don't have strippers that are small enough for this wire. Alright, so now what we want to do, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put just a bit of tape on that. Do I have any electrical tape offhand? I know I've got some somewhere. Oh, here it is. And we're going to do the same thing for the positive leads. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to put a little bit of the electrical tape over here. Just enough to keep them together. We're not going to really tape it up because this, remember, everything takes room. Just a tiny bit, just to keep it nice and neat. Cut off the rest. Here we are. Alright, now we're ready to put our leads onto the screws. And again, we just want to test the lights out. Make sure they're working. We're going to make sure the electronics are working. So let's wrap that around the screw. So I don't know if you guys can see, we got the leads, the positive, the negative coming in. And what we're going to do now is we're going to put the batteries in. Alright, so I think these are in. And we move the switch. You know what, the heck with the switch right now. The lights aren't working. You know what, let's open up the lights that came with the model. You guys can see the again, these have been in the box since 1968. Alright, so we got one out. Let's just Alright, so there is an issue. Okay, so when I put the batteries in, the lights were not working. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't the lights and there were no shorts in it. So I hooked it up to a power supply with the same thing, 2 AA batteries. We put the switch on. The lights work. So that tells me that the lights are okay. There's just something that I'm doing wrong when it comes to the mechanism part. You got both parts, both leads at the bottom. They're in correctly. And the other part, the other contact with a switch is in correctly. So I'm just going to have to maneuver it and try to fool around with it and try to get it to work. I got to try to have it make contact. But at least I know the lights are working. So we're going to try to fix this. Okay guys, I got a change of plans. The lights were working when I had the regular power pack in, but I can't finagle this to get it right at all. So for nostalgia, I'm going to put the switch in. I'm going to leave it. We're going to have it coming out the bottom just for nostalgia's sake. And I'm going to leave these in just for nostalgia's sake. But change of plans. What we're going to do now is we're going to plug it in. And this actually helps me with what I wanted to do with the base. I wanted to have, because the base is clear, I figured it would just be so cool to do something special with the base. And this helped me make up my mind. These are the 2 negative leads. And in addition to the lighting, we're going to have a little bit of fun now. And I'm going to customize the base a bit. Like I said, guys, this was designed by Matt Jeffries, and I wanted to find a way to honor him. And I think the fact that I wasn't able to get the lights to work helped me make up my mind where we're actually going to do the custom base. And trust me, it's going to look pretty cool. Now, I did think about putting the power pack inside the ship. That way there it would still be battery powered, but we still wouldn't be able to use the switch, and it just wouldn't be the same. The way we're going to do it now is we're actually going to get to keep the lights. They're going to be brighter, and we're going to actually be able to make use of the base. So let's plug this in. Hopefully nothing blows up. And you guys can see we got lights. And they're actually a little bit more, they're brighter than they were on the batteries. Okay, so let me show you guys what this is going to look like, what we're working on. It's possible that I won't have to use the bracket that gets glued inside. You can see this is going to look pretty good with one light. And the other light is going to come through. Let me show you guys. Now, the reason I'm going to include this in a video, doing all the wiring, you guys may be thinking, why'd you do all that for nothing? But I want to show you my mistakes. You can see that's going to look pretty good. You can see the windows. Okay, so I'm having a hard time keeping this in place because it's just really, really awkward. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into place on one side and I'm going to hot glue it into place. Alright, you see how it's kind of in place? I don't know if you guys can see how it's... So that's how it's supposed to go. I just want to make sure it's not going to move. Alright, so let's put this... When this is together, you guys can see. And we're going to putty the seam. But you guys can see how it's... like I said, it's not supposed to protrude at all. Let's bring it out just a bit. We can putty it and we can super glue it. Alright, so that's done. That's actually in. Again, it's only held in place with a spot of the hot glue. I just wanted to get it in position, and now we can think about putting the lights in. Actually, you know, I think I'm going to hot glue a little bit of that into position. Just like that. So I put a little bit of glue at the bottom to kind of keep the wires in place, and these are going to go up there just like that. We want to make sure that we're going to be able to close both of the halves. I think what we should do is we should open up the hole where the wires are going to pass into the secondary hull just a bit. Seems to be a little bit better, yeah. There's more room there. Just like that. Alright, so we're going to do the edges and the seams. And after that's dry, we can go down and we can clamp the section at a time until we get down to the front of the primary hull. It's still tacky. We got to let it dry. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and we can we'll do the bulb section. Again, we'll run a seam down. All right, you guys can see how it's clamped. Let's get the excess glue out of there before it glues the clamp on. And again, we can use the putty. So let that set a while. We're going to feed the wires through the hole, and that way there we can put the this section right in. You know what it is, the clamp is so heavy. It's a Super Duty clamp, so alright. Now we gotta make sure it's flush. You guys can see it's starting to hold. Let's see if we can take this off. Yeah, this way there, it'll be a little easier for this to dry. What I'm thinking of doing is, because the light is going to be aimed at it and there's not a lot of room in there, what we're going to do is we're going to light block this. So I think the way we're going to do it, we might paint it silver. We'll put the same kind of reflective paint on the inside of these parts that we did on the inside of the primary hull, the bottom. Okay, so everything had some time to dry. Let me show you a little bit of an update. In order to help with the light blocking, I went ahead and I put the same kind of reflective paint on the inside of both hats. And again, we're going to drill a hole in the middle over here so the light can go through. You guys check it out. It had some time to dry overnight. And with the super glue, it's really, really nice and solid. So again, let's plug it in. You guys can check out the lights. The lights are a little bit brighter. We get some more of the some more light diffusing because we put the reflective paint on the inside. You can see the windows are pretty good. Again, I love the way the light circles the antenna. We're going to have to fill it in with putty, and we're going to do that with all the seams. We're going to make it nice and smooth before we're ready to move on. So I wanted to show you guys what the lighting looked like. And again, this is the only lighting on the ship. It's going to be the primary hull, the bottom, the quarters area, and the top of the bridge. It's going to be lit up with this. And what we're also going to do is we're going to put some holes in these windows. I'm thinking we're going to do the round ones. I don't really see any round ones. These are, yeah, they look like they're rectangles, so I'm not sure how we're going to make them look. But we'll have a few ideas when we get to that. And again, we're going to run the, drill a hole, and we're going to put this on. So, that's the plan. That's all the lighting on the ship itself. When it comes to the lighting on the whole project, the base, what I plan on doing for the base is going to be really wild. Use my imagination, and I have some ideas for this, and this is going to really look cool. And it's going to involve lighting the base. Like I said, this is clear, and I love the clear base, and I want to make use of that. So that's going to be in an upcoming video, a special for the base, the customized base. So let me give you guys a little bit of an update what we've done. You can see we put the lights in. We put the halves of the primary hull together. We put in the antenna. And again, the model has it where this section is protruding. But the actual filming model, it's nice and flat. There is no protrusion. So that's why what we're going to do is we're going to putty it. We're going to smooth it out. And then we're going to paint it. All right. We're going to keep an eye out. I'm going to look in some other model kits for extra parts. And anything that I can see that's close to resembling this, it's like a little rivet, but it's in green. It's the wrong color. The studio model has red on top. And they also have the side vents in green. Now these were meant to be lit as well. But on the filming model, I couldn't find any that showed these lit. But I can understand the model, it would look cool with it lit. I really want to put them in and light them, but that's not how the studio model looks. And we're going to go right here. Just like that. The areas that are going to go right there. But they're not lit, so that's unfortunate. So with this video, the main part of this video is I wanted to show you guys the lighting arrangement that we're going to do. We're going to put the lights into the model. The next step, what we're going to do is we're going to prepare it for painting. So again, let me show you guys the model. For now, we can put the bulb inside, and this little slot is going to go onto the slot on top, and just like that. You can see there's a little bit of light leak through there, but once we paint, we're going to take care of all the light leak issues. So again, guys, one of the reasons I wanted to show you the whole video and show you the mistakes that I made with the batteries is I just wanted to show all my mistakes, just in case you guys are having the same issues. I figure if you guys watch my mistakes, it'll teach you not to do the same thing. And that's a big thing of my videos, is for you guys to learn from my mistakes. So my friends, this video was lighting the hull, lighting the ship itself, and this is it. The next video, we're going to start prepping it. So we're going to putty, we're going to smooth it out, and we're going to actually finish building all the sections that are going to be the mint green color that goes underneath, and then we'll paint. So my friends, I thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the kind words, and until the next video, I'll see you soon. Kapla!